Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today and taking part in Travel Bulletin's City Breaks virtual showcase. I'm Simon Eddles, and as always, we have a lively training session ahead of us lined up for you this afternoon. Today represents a significant milestone in our road to recovery with the resumption of international travel. And we are hoping that many more countries will soon be added to the green list as the weeks sort of go by over the next month or two. So I can't think of a better way of celebrating this momentous day than by enjoying some virtual training. We've got three great presentations to share with you today, brought to you by our supplier partners representing Hungary, Croatia, and also slightly closer to home, the Cheval collection as well. So here's a summary of what's going to happen over the next hour. Each of our supplier partners will deliver a live 10-minute presentation on their particular product or destination, which will then be followed by a Q&A session. I'd really like you to get involved with questions if you can do, please. So please submit, as always, your questions dedicated for each presenter using the Q&A function. It really helps me, and it really helps them get some decent feedback as to what your clients might want to know about. So hopefully then you understand their products and their destinations inside out by the end of the training session. Each presenter is also going to announce their competition prize and question at the end of the session. So you'll need to enter your answers after the webinar has finished via the travelbulletin.co.uk/webinar competition. The deadline to win today's prizes will be Wednesday, the 19th of May at 4 p.m. We've got some great prizes up for grabs today, including a Visit Hungary goodie bag packed with Hungarian delicacies, some Croatian wine, and also a fabulous 2-night stay at any Cheval property in London or Edinburgh. By the sounds of what I've heard earlier, there may not be many of those left because obviously things are starting to pick up, hopefully, in terms of travel. So I'm going to ask everyone to join us now. If I can do, please, the presenters, if you can do, join us on screen, and I'm going to introduce them and have a brief conversation with them now as to what's happening. So first of all, Dalma, in your swimming pool by the look of it. Hello, are you well?
Yes, hi everyone. Hi Simon. Yes, I'm in a very nice spa in Budapest. Well, I wish I was. This is my background. But I'm all good, thank you. And it's lovely to see that so many of you joined us today. So thank you so much. And I really hope that you will enjoy our presentation.
Well, I've no doubt they will do. I'm going to ask you, Dalma, if I may, since I've been speaking to you over the last few weeks, you've changed from the Hungarian tourism agency, which is the previous name, to now Visit Hungary. Why?
Yes, that's right. So since the 1st of May, we just renamed our company basically. So from Hungarian Tourism Agency, which confused quite a few people because we are not a travel agency. We are the National Tourism Organization of Hungary. So we went through some changes with the name. So now it's Visit Hungary National Tourism Organization. It's a governmental body. And in case you have any questions or you want to get in contact with Hungarian tourism suppliers, or you need some COVID information or any information about the destination, just please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Basically, the brand changed a little with the name as it's Visit Hungary now, but all the logos and the brand book basically is staying the same. So so it's just a rename, and it's nice to share that information so it will not confuse our partners.
All of the content is still there. That's the main thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Nisa, can I ask you, and don't forget to unmute yourself, otherwise I won't hear your answer. But if I can ask you, we're all reopening today here. Obviously, it's been a big shift, and I understand that you've seen a bit of an influx, should we say, in terms of bookings at some of the properties.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Simon, and hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. Yes, absolutely. It's been with the indoor hospitality opening today, and we've seen quite a bit of shift in terms of the properties in London and Edinburgh. Whilst obviously we are missing the international markets, but Edinburgh in particular is one of the strongest performing UK cities for domestic staycation market due to its size and open spaces and simply being the gateway to the Highlands. So yeah, we've launched this afternoon tea campaign and package, which we took about 700 covers already on the books starting from today, which we're super excited about. So yeah.
Well, I think that's amazing. I was only discussing it with you very briefly earlier, but it's allowed people, or the way that we're working now has meant that a lot of people have had to be innovative in terms of how they get bookings and how they manage those bookings and make them work. So it's good to see that. That's great in terms of numbers, and obviously the more afternoon teas the better. We don't care what they do as long as they're there and they're out enjoying themselves. Daria, thank you for that, Nisa, and we'll come back to you in a bit. And Daria, can I ask you, in terms of what's been happening with Croatia? Tell me, you've got something about staying safe. Is that right? That's new or newish?
Yes. Hi, Simon. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us in such great numbers. Yes, Croatia has, in line with all the developments around COVID, recently launched a new Safe Stay in Croatia project, which is a joint project by the Ministry of Tourism and Sports, the Croatian National Tourist Board, and the Croatian Institute of Public Health, which have prescribed industry-specific measures for all the different segments for Croatian tourism industry. So that means the Croatian travel trade can apply for a Safe Stay in Croatia label, which then serves as an assurance that they are following all the recommended health guidelines and recommendations. So protocols have been developed for every step of travelers' journey. And what is great is that travelers can actually go on the website, Safe Stay in Croatia website, and by using a simple search bar, they can immediately check if the hotel where they will be staying, or a bar, restaurant, museum that they will be visiting, if they have already been certified with this Safe Stay in Croatia label. This national label is on top of the WTTC Safe Travels label that Croatia already holds, and it's been developed in further efforts to make sure that we keep our guests and our locals safe as well. So we've been working on that project. It's an ongoing certification, but the majority of travel trading businesses in Croatia have been certified.
Thank you. That's very good. One thing that some of our visitors today online will note, and this is the way I view it, it's something similar to what we have here. When you have been, I'm sure everyone there will be a few in the audience who are old enough alongside me who's had their first jab, but when you've been, you get a little sticker. So it's a bit like what you're saying is that you've sort of got a sticker that says that you're part of the way forward, basically.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Well,
okay, right. Well, that's enough of me warbling. Right, I will. If I can ask Nisa and Daria to leave us, and then I'm going to, if I can do, Dalma, without further ado, please share your screen and tell us more about your incredible destination.
All right, thank you, Simon, for the introduction, and I'm really hoping that all of you can see my screen. Simon, can you see it?
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm not allowed to talk, but yes, I can.
Sorry. All right, so good afternoon, everyone, and I'm so happy to see that so many of you joined us today on Travel Bulletin's City Break Virtual Showcase session. My name is Dalma, and I am the Head of Business Development responsible for the UK market at Visit Hungary National Tourism Organization. And in case you need any information about our beautiful country, please don't hesitate to get in touch. And now let's kickstart our presentation, as I think not even a whole hour would be enough to share all information about the spice of Europe, Budapest. So let me start with the USPs of Budapest, why we stand out from our competitors, what makes this capital city amazing. And these are the unique selling points that will help you to sell this destination easily. So firstly, good accessibility. Great value for money, amazing thermal baths that you see behind me, one of them, wide range of hotels and accommodations, so from guest houses all the way to luxurious 5-star hotels, vivid nightlife, the famous ruin bars that we have here in Budapest, culture and entertainment, Budapest 365, so we're not only a summer fun destination, but also with our amazing chimney cakes and mulled wine. We're also a great winter wonderland destination, children's attractions and programs, gastronomy, shopping, and also safety that I think we must mention, especially these days. So Budapest, walkable, clean and compact. You can differentiate the Buda and Pest sides based on the landscapes as well. And the more hilly and the more residential one is the Buda side that you see on the top picture there, while the Pest is flat and gathers the business districts and the buzzing nightlife. But all in all, you can explore any of the main attractions of the city within 15 minutes walk from the downtown area, as it's highlighted on the picture, on the map, on the left-hand side. So transportation in Budapest, it's easy and fast. Featuring the oldest metro line in Europe, built in 1896, that goes underneath the Andrássy Avenue, historical ride from the city center all the way to Hero Square, or you could take the tram line too, you see on the top picture, that goes all the way the Danube River with the World Heritage views that you can enjoy during your ride from downtown all the way to the market hall. And you can also reach the funicular by walking across the train bridge, which is already a unique experience from Pest side to the Buda side. That will take you all the way up to the entrance of the Royal Palace in the Buda Castle Quarter. But you can also easily rent a bike if you wish, or even use the boats on the Danube with your daily ticket pass to get from A to B or from Buda to the Pest side. So rich architecture, the amazing and diverse architecture of Moorish, Neo-Gothic, Art Nouveau, Neoclassicist, you name it, Budapest has it. Actually, at least 8 different architectural styles can be found in the city. And one thing I would definitely advise is to hop on a boat and not just cruise around the streets, but also to hop on a boat to cruise under the bridges on the River Danube, to be amazed by the beautiful panorama from a completely different perspective as well, and enjoy the beautiful architecture and the amazing buildings that Budapest offers. Exciting and diverse gastronomy, one of my favorite slides here. And even though Budapest is called the spice of Europe, Hungarian cuisine is not only about goulash and paprika, and the capital offers a wide selection of venues to dine at, from charming restaurants, wine bars, unique bistros, creative cooking courses, great program for guests when they come to Budapest. Also culinary festivals, new restaurants and street food places are opening all around the city, including the highest quality fine dining places as well, which are honored by Michelin stars, but also those who follow a special diet will find their place to enjoy a great meal as well. Our colorful cultural scenes offer constant discovery and amazement to the thriving cultural life that you can find here in Budapest. Let it be a classical music concert at the Music Academy, or performance by the Symphonic Orchestra at the Palace of Art, or something completely different, the Sziget Festival in August, which welcomes more than 160 bands and hundreds of thousands of visitors from all around the world. Basically, there is entertainment for every age group on the cultural side as well. So lively and authentic character. The city has a very sparkling and authentic character. Visitors will experience inclusivity, quickly feel at home. They can easily participate in the city's flow, whether you can enjoy a nice cocktail on a rooftop bar that you see on the left picture there, or you can participate in a pillow fight in the Hero Square, or even have a morning yoga session on the Liberty Beach. You will definitely feel like you're a local when you visit Budapest. So historical baths. Budapest is not just the spice of Europe, we call it, but also known as the city of spas, as no visit to our capital can be complete without visiting a spa that will give you a memorable experience for sure, especially now that there is need for relaxation and rejuvenation more than ever, and Budapest is the perfect place for that. And it has over 100 thermal springs and wells, and it has the highest, this is actually the highest number in the world. So don't miss out the Galliad, the Széchenyi, or the Ruda Spa that you see on the picture there when you come to visit our amazing capital. And as you know, Hungary is not all about Budapest, and we have amazing destinations, local treasures, we like to call it, to discover just in the outskirts of the capital also. What I love about living in Budapest actually is that you can just jump in your car or on your bike, and you can go on a trip to nature in no more than 30 minutes or an hour. You can relax on the hills, be active, eat local food, drink gorgeous Hungarian wine, escape from the busy city. And the greater Budapest area provides various day trip opportunities just out of the capital. And these destinations are easily reachable by all means of transport, let's say bike, car, bus, train, or even a boat. So let's start with Santandre, one of my favorite places. The town has a wealth of history and delights visitors with its narrow streets, street musicians, portrait artists, as well as a wide variety of craftsmanship and traditional cuisine on offer, just 20 minutes out of the city center. Or why not visit Hungary's biggest religious building in Esztergom, the local basilica, climb to the dome and see for yourself the staggering view of the beautiful surroundings. This place is special as well because just last year in November, there was the MTV European Music Awards, and it was actually hosted by Budapest and London. And one of the hosting cities was Esztergom, and the world famous top model, Barbara Palvin, she was hosting the music awards from this place. So this will keep this place in your mind for sure. Visegrad, our next destination, was formerly the home of the royal court, and it is a bit of a climb to get to the castle that you see on the picture, but you will be rewarded with a priceless view of the Danube Band, and it is 40 minutes drive out of the capital of Budapest, a truly peaceful place surrounded by nature protected area. And now Gödöllő, which was the favorite summer residence of Queen Elizabeth, also known by the name Sissi. And you can walk through the luxurious streets and the romantic gardens and basically travel back in time and feel like a real prince or princess in this magical place, just 45 minutes from Budapest. And also it's a special place to visit because, as you see on the picture, you can have Sissi herself be your local tour guide, and she tells you all the gossip and all the things that happened to her basically back in her time. So it's truly a time travel experience. Or you could relax with a glass of gorgeous Hungarian wine in Etyek that is just 30 minutes drive from the city center. And no wonder it is known by the name Vineyard of the capital. So as you see, the greater Budapest region is home to many day trip opportunities for you to experience during your stay. And now a short video of Budapest and the greater Budapest area, just to give you an idea of how amazing this place truly is. So please enjoy the video. And as we hope that we can sit together a glass of great Hungarian wine very soon with many of you in one of our vineyards, or to explore the hidden treasures of the greater Budapest region, let's stay positive and let's hope that our lives will start to get back to normal. And thank you so much for your attention. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them in the question answer function, or just send it to me. So thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
Fantastic, Dan. Well, thank you so much. If you can unshare, we've got lots of questions. I've got lots of questions already in, so which is good. Most people already want to know exactly what is behind you. Number one, as in, I take it that's a spa or something like that, but you can briefly tell me that. Is that all right to start with?
Yes, so I did mention in my presentation that we are called the city of spas as well. We're famous for our spas, and this is actually the Galliad spa thermal bath that you can visit. It's part of a hotel as well, so but you can access it as a visitor easily. And I think it's the second most famous spa in Budapest. We also have the Széchenyi spa, which has indoor and outdoor facilities as well, so you can also visit it in the winter time. The nice warm water, just imagine yourself, it's snowing and you're outside in a nice hot water pool, so it's a lovely experience. I would definitely recommend.
I will. I'm sure everyone is going to be. Well, that answers one of my questions already, or one of the questions I've got. Fiona asks, she's got clients who like to be at home at Christmas and like to avoid crowds during the summer. Are there sort of specific times would you recommend either spring or autumn, or are there anything specifically that goes on in either of those two sort of areas, either side, that you would recommend people should recommend to their clients?
Well, the good news is actually it's one of the USPs actually, that we call it Budapest 365, because there is entertainment basically in every month. And the reason why the UK market is so special for us as a source market is because we don't really see a seasonality, because people come from the UK obviously when there's no COVID, but people come every month and they find their opportunities. So they have the festivals to attend, and actually just before COVID kicked in last February, it was already like a 30% increase in guest nights looking at the capital cities. So even after Christmas in January, February, you will find things to do, like going to the spa, which is open all year round as well. But we have like the gastronomy festivals, or also, okay, still the Christmas markets are still open after Christmas or before Christmas as well. In the autumn, I would definitely advise to visit the vineyards, even Etyek, the one that I mentioned in my presentation. It's very close to the capital, but they have like organized picnics that you can ride a bike and have your little picnic there in the grass. And they have live music, live cooking, so all kinds of experiences. And especially now that domestic tourism is very strong, I do believe that in the summer it will be the same again. So many of the Hungarians will decide to stay here as well. So afterwards, in September, October, it's still a great time to visit when it's not that hot, but still you can do the same programs like spa or drinking wine.
Well, I think the whole idea of having a spa but drinking a glass of wine as well sounds wonderful. That just about caps it. Can I ask, I've got Michael has asked a couple of questions. I'm going to try and get them in one if I can do, and you can cover both. He asks, on relation to the baths and the spa, obviously you can buy them as a separate item. What should you expect to pay roughly?
Well, it depends on the spa. With the Széchenyi, I think it's around 15-20 pounds if you do the maths in pounds. So it's around 15-20, and obviously there are the additional facilities like massage, facial, and all that. It comes with additional costs. But at the same time, we have the Budapest card, that you can buy in advance for 24, for 48, for 3, 4, 5, 7 days even. And this will give you some discounts to the top attractions here in Budapest, but also valid for the transportation. So you get all the good things with one card that you can buy online for groups as well. So it's a great stuff to get some good discounts.
You've answered 4 people's questions in one go then, which is great, because a number of people have come up. I think Jenny's come up with it. We've got Michael again. We've got lots of people who've asked about the possibility of a card. So what you've got, that offers transport, it offers discounts on various attractions, things like museums and things like that as well, does it?
Yes, exactly. You can now come and work for the Visit Hungary International Tourism Organization, because you all know all the benefits already. So yes, exactly. Transportation, attractions, museums, spas, even some discounts at restaurants. And this is, you can buy it for 1 day, but you can buy it for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days even. So yeah, you have all the opportunity there.
And can you buy it online and put it on your phone or something like that? Is it
yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. We're gonna have to wrap up in a second, because you've covered everything, and we've actually it's just that we've got to move on in a minute. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then you try and answer me 2 questions in one if you can do. I've got Tony asking about when are you hopeful in terms of people visiting this summer from the UK? But more importantly, if you can't give a date on when you're hopeful for, give us an idea of the vaccination and how that's progressing, because I know that you're is it President Orban? Is it? I don't.
Orban, yes.
Yes.
Prime Minister.
I know he's bought a lot of vaccines from Russia and from various other places as well. So I know he got that moving, didn't he? But give us an idea of where you are in the process.
Yeah, so we're actually with the vaccination strategy. We're very good, and I'm happy to say that, because nearly 5 million people got the vaccination already here in Hungary. So that's why they started to ease the restrictions. Regarding traveling, we were really hoping to get on the green list, but I think everyone else was hoping as well, but we're not for the moment. So I would like to ask you when we're going to get on the green list, because that's
if it's down to me, you're on it.
Yeah.
You're on it next week. If it was down to me, that's it.
Well, great. So when we get the green light and we're on the green list, that's when traveling will be back. But obviously I understand the situation, and you have to be cautious, and we have to be careful regarding opening borders as well. So I'm really hoping that it will happen after the 21st of June or sometime during the summer. But if not, September is my next guess.
You can't. We're not going to allow you to put a date on it, and the reason is because Hungary is a 365 destination. So
exactly.
Therefore,
so whatever happens, we're ready for you. And if it's the summer, then we can offer you summer programs. But if it's the autumn, then you're more than welcome to come and visit the vineyards and again drink some Hungarian wine with us.
Fantastic.
So
I'm getting told off, Delma. I'm getting told off for us overrunning. Okay. It's not your fault. It's my fault. So I'm going to ask you to thank you very much for the Q&A. I'm going to ask you to sort of round off, if you can do, by sharing with us what your prize is and what your competition question is for that prize.
Oh, yes. So the prize is, it's a Visit Hungary goodie bag with some amazing Hungarian delicacies, and also an entry ticket to the spas here with no, how do you call it? No deadline or
no expiry date.
Exactly. And my question would be, what is the other nickname of Budapest other than the spice of Europe?
Okay, so for your chance to win that wonderful Visit Hungary goodie bag with which is full of Hungarian delicacies as well as a no expiry date, if I could speak, spa option, is what is the nickname for Budapest other than the spice of Europe? Thank you very much, Dalma. We'll see you again to say goodbye to everyone, but thank you for a great training session.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll see you at the end. Right, okay. It's now time to meet our second presenter. So please give a warm welcome to, not that everyone does give warm welcomes because we're all virtual, but in your hearts, I want to hear a warm welcome to our second presenter, the Senior Global Sales Manager for the Cheval collection, Nisa Ford. How are you, Nisa? Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you, Simon. Yourself?
Yes, so I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm excited about today, obviously being the day it is, and obviously it has more of a relevance to you in a way than anyone else who's here, because your properties are open.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
It has been, and it's been a bliss to be actually operating throughout the pandemic. So we've been fortunate enough to welcome guests whilst and during the whole lockdown, but we're ever so excited about today. So yeah, let's get.
We've got hundreds of people having cream tea as we speak, so I'm going to let you start sharing, please, Nisa, and tell us more.
Yes, sure. So hello everyone, and a warm welcome to Cheval Collection, where I'm pleased to present to you our 3 flagship residences in our collection, which is Cheval Three Keys, Cheval Gloucester Park, and Cheval the Edinburgh Grand. Just to give you a quick background, we are a collection of luxury 5-star service apartments and residences that are available to book for any length of stay and pretty much function like a hotel. But pride ourselves mainly in offering high standard of service and hospitality for holidays, city breaks, and to short-term and long-term lets, basically. We're proud owners and operators of 9 luxury residences in the heart of London, including our latest edition, Cheval Lexham Gardens, which is due to open next month in Kensington. All of our residences are pretty much a walking distance to coffee shops, restaurants, and famous tourist attractions, and within walking distance to landmark in the particular neighborhood. This time last year, actually during the pandemic, we added 3 further residences in Edinburgh. The current 12 residences in operation include a total of 651 apartments, and they all range from open plan 1-bedroom layouts to grand penthouses. Which leads me nicely onto our first property in line with its proximity to the River Thames. And Cheval Three Keys has been designed with a tranquil theme of water throughout, and is an award-winning destination uniquely positioned in the heart of City of London, with breathtaking views over the Tower of London, Tower Bridge, the Shard, HMS Belfast, to just name a few. You can actually count up 14 iconic landmarks while you're actually working from the office at Cheval Three Keys. There are 159 unique apartments in total, ranging from open plan studio to 1-2-bed apartments with sofa bed, 3-bedroom interconnecting apartments to accommodate families, to 4-bedroom penthouses with private roof terrace and some panoramic views of London's iconic landmarks. These spacious apartments, they have been luxuriously designed and furnished. So just to give you a quick, a rough idea, one of our smallest 1-bedroom apartments starts at around 550 square feet. All of our apartments offer basically luxury amenities such as bathrobes, slippers, toiletries, hair dryers, and espresso machines, and they're fully equipped with high-end kitchens and appliances, ideal for short-term luxury breaks to multi-generational families. Our guests, they also receive a welcome hamper on arrival, and this can pretty much be tailor-made upon request. We always say it's really worth going for the upgrade, as all the apartments on the river and tower side view will have either a terrace or a balcony, so guests can enjoy landmark views with Tower Bridge on City Hall and the Shard whilst practically having a breakfast outside. And for further convenience and dining options, you have the Cuppa Club, Starbucks, Pret-a-Manger and Paul Patisserie on the ground floor of the building. We will now move to our newly upgraded flagship residence in West London, Cheval Gloucester Park. These apartments are superbly located in Kensington, which is the area of 3 London's largest and most famous museums, the Victoria and Albert, the National History Museum and the Science Museum, for an exciting day out, and not to forget the eclectic shopping sprees with designer boutiques and brands. On the ground floor, the guests will find a lobby with a 24-hour reception and concierge team, and it provides a private green room and carefully screened areas for reading and relaxation on either side of the lobby. There's also access to our private car parking facilities, which is for up to 90 cars. These 98 beautifully appointed and fully equipped apartments that features 98 beautifully appointed apartments, and the property has a combination of a 1, 2, 3 bed apartments plus 3 stunning 5-bedroom penthouses on the upper floor, which offers the maximum amount of flexibility and space, and each of them has fully fitted kitchen and modern appliances, including Nespresso machines. Our spectacular 5-bedroom penthouse apartment comfortably sleeps up to 9 adults and is designed with an infusion of mid-20th century style, and three other penthouses offer an expansive living space where you can enjoy beautiful views towards both central London to the east and over Kensington and Fulham to the west. A fully equipped gym is also available for all the residents, guests, which is 24 hours a day. And last but not least, it's our exclusive Picture House cinema, which offers a truest big screen experience, comfortably seating 12 people. You can stream your favorite movie and TV show directly from your personal device. So whilst I truly hope that you have enjoyed to our beautiful London residences, we will now travel up north to Scotland, to Cheval, the Edinburgh Grand, which is again a luxury all apartment residence and located in the beating heart of Edinburgh, bookable again from any length of stay. The property was built between 1936 and 1942 as the global headquarters for the Royal Bank of Scotland until 2007, and is located in its desirable Santandre Square in Edinburgh New Town, which is only a short walk from the city's main railway station. The residence is beautifully renovated to 50 fully equipped service apartments with options to accommodate from 1 to 6 guests. Each apartment seamlessly incorporates the building's historic roots with sleek contemporary design and compromises of open plan studios, 1 and 2 bed apartments. One of the main features of this property, and following the footprint of the original bank's board of directors dining room, is the director's suite, which is a space that pretty much ticks all the boxes. At the end, you'll find a fully equipped kitchen, spacious kitchen, pretty much leading to a lounge area with a large cognac wood paneled master bedroom with a king-size bed. The building also features a stunning 3 super king bedroom penthouses, completely reconfigured from the original build with panoramic views across the city of Arthur's Seat, the Firth of the Forth and beyond. And to top it off, the penthouse has its own private rooftop terrace with 360-degree views of Edinburgh and space for alfresco dining and lounging. As we mentioned earlier on, the dining options and what we have available. So this is our Register Club, which is actually opening today, and we're ever so excited about. We serve breakfast in the mornings and afternoon tea and light bites and cocktails in the evening. So it also offers a vast array of whiskies. The Hawksmoor, which is located on the ground floor of the Cheval Edinburgh Grand and features seafood from around the Scottish coast and beef from grass-fed native breed cattle from both sides of the border. And last but not least is Lady Libertine, which offers mouth-watering menus and incredible array of cocktails and wines, plus some of the best DJs and live music we can possibly offer, split over the 2 floors in the iconic Edinburgh Grand. So just to give you a little bit more about why do our customers book Cheval, we offer 24-hour concierge service. We're available to book from one night, as mentioned earlier on. And we provide on-site gym, daily housekeeping service. We're pet friendly, and reservation team who are available to book 7 days a week until 8 p.m. You can also enjoy the convenience of Cheval app, which gives the guest the opportunity to book and manage future reservation, live messaging service with our reception and concierge team. This will also include information on all the local restaurants and attractions. Now, if you are looking for that personalized stay and just don't fancy cooking, you can entertain your guests and book our talented chefs from Le Balassiette into the kitchen without the stress of cleaning and cooking, basically. Or you can simply enjoy the convenience of the local restaurants delivered to your door with our night room service every day. So that's pretty much what we have available to talk about on the 3 residences at 3 Keys. Thank you very much for your time, but just to also mention regarding the rates and offers that we have for the agents, we work on a 10% commission and 10% off bar rates. And for any bookings, the best way is to actually basically contact us directly, either myself or the reservation team, where we'll be able to, well, present to you any properties you wish.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Nisa. If you can unshare, then we'll get to our questions. Awesome. Right. Okay. I think the thing that you mentioned last was a number of questions that were building up. So that's great. Thank you. So it's just to reiterate that, if I can do for anyone who's asked already, it's 10% commission. How do they go about that in terms of booking with you? Do they need to book via a website, or how do they do that?
Preferably if they can contact us directly, the reservation team, or any question myself. For now, we are working on an agent portal, which it has finalized pretty much, but once that's up and running, we will be able to build a code in specific for agents where they can log on there and they'll be able to do the booking straight on there.
I think I've spoken over the last 2 weeks to about 5 different companies who are launching either new websites or new portals for agents or everything else, and I don't think a single one is going to launch on time. There's never anything that happens. Everyone gets to the testing stage and then goes, oh my god, it's not working properly. So I hope that it will do.
We're not doing too bad, actually. I think we're towards the end of there's some API connections and thinking about how to plug in. But yeah.
But in the meantime, if they've got any questions as to what to do, to email you, contact you, and you will lead them through the system.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right. Okay. So Matthew asks, in terms of, I suppose the minimum, is there a minimum stay, he asks, but also because of things like the Edinburgh Festival, is there a maximum stay?
Well, at the moment, no, there's no more restrictions. Actually, we are super excited about the festival, albeit being, in a different format. But it's been, it will drive visitors to the city and send a strong message about the recovery. So, in effect, minimum length of stay, 1 night, you can book, and that's as it stands for now.
Okay, right, good. And in terms of that applies for all the properties, basically.
All the properties, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Jacob asks as well, which is both a very it's an obvious question in a way, but in terms of a lot of the properties look, should we say, business oriented in terms of how they may have started there. They look wonderfully aimed at, but they're very much, you can offer family accommodation as well, can't you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've seen such a trend in the whole, there's been a lot of grandparents, multi-generational families, like grandparents have been booking on behalf of children, for the grandchildren, to just, so yeah, we cover anything from your open plan up to 4 or 5 bedroom penthouses, interconnecting rooms. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, you can cover everything. Okay, Lorraine asked, on the point of bookings, is there a reservations phone number, or is that on that they can use and then let people know that they're agents, or is that okay?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. I can when we follow up, what I'll do, I'll send all the details across in terms of their reservation details, and you will also have my details where you can contact either way.
Okay, and just to cover it on that, so obviously Nisa's going to be in touch with everyone. Make sure that you know how to get in touch with her, as well as all the details in terms of the properties. I think you send people a sort of PDF presentation as well, don't you? So
absolutely.
So there's all of that will come to you, and just so that you know, Errol, because I'm talking to you specifically, you can email Nisa about any staff rates or agent rates or whatever separately on that front.
Absolutely, get in touch.
Okay, so one of the things Catherine asks as well, I know that you run through that certain properties have, should we say, some, well, not in-house exactly, but they have things that are there locally within the environment, like sort of Pret or whatever it might be. Do any of the properties offer breakfast as part of the offering?
So the Edinburgh properties, they have the luxury of having the register club where we serve breakfast up there, where you can pay for that. But in terms of the London properties, we offer a welcome hamper upon arrival, which pretty much allows them to have provision to be able to make light breakfast. So your milk, tea, coffees, muesli bars, bread, and if there is anything that they need further, they can absolutely ask the concierge team. But in terms, as we are a service apartments, we don't have an F&B outlet as such on the property, but the proximity of all the local bars and restaurants are so within literally stone throw away, so they can they've got that to enjoy. And somewhere like Cheval, Three Keys, we have the Copper Club, the Paul Patisserie, all of those on the ground floor of the building, so they literally have to get out and then they have coffee at their doorstep.
And is there any sort of discount operating as part of the group for anything within that?
Not for those outlets as yet, but we have partnerships with other. So with Edinburgh, we've got partnership with Harvinix, which we're providing discounts on in there. We have Bicester Village discounts where the clients will get 10% discount on most of the shops, but they will also get the VIP ticket, which means they don't have to queue up. They can just literally turn up and skip the queue. And I presume nobody would like to queue nowadays.
That is a big thing. No, that's
Yeah.
a big thing. I think that's a big thing, because that's like having well, I put it into sort of other queuing scenarios, like having a Disney Fast Pass or something like that.
Absolutely.
Allows you.
Yeah.
So that's a really big thing. It allows people to go straight to the front of the queue.
Straight to the front of the queue, yeah, VIP.
which is always good. Okay, I'm going to ask you something in terms of how you have sort of seen things. Obviously, we first met back at the end of March, I think it was.
Yeah.
And obviously, therefore, that was right at the start of the unlocking, or just about of the unlocking of the first stage, I think, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What have you seen, or what is your sort of group hopeful for in terms of bookings for the rest of the year? How do you expect or hope to see things sort of take off?
Well, if we compare that into our little bit, maybe go into numbers with the STR numbers, I think Luxury London sat on last year somewhere around 3 to 4% with our STR, and the occupancy, well, which is now up to about 12% occupancy, but our occupancy, depending on the days of the week, let me be clear on that one, and also the specific property, we're sitting to 50 to 60% occupancy, and that is 80 to 90% on the weekends. So it's great to see that that trend is definitely moving in the right direction. We have seen a lot of booking. The shift of the bookings have been different. There's been more leisure and entertainment. We've done a lot of entertainment where the film crews and the stars and the actors have turned up with their team and basically all stayed there.
You've just absolutely, you're going to cause an absolute sort of I don't know, tsunami of bookings now on the basis that you mentioned film crews and stars. That's going to be it. Everyone's going to want to be involved. I'm going to ask you one last question. Please be brief in your answer.
Yes.
Caroline Bailey asks, at the Three Keys, can chefs and staff be provided for those staying in the suites with large balconies? Can they get involved in cooking?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, that was brief. Thank you very much for that. Right, okay. Great answers as always. Thank you very much, Nisa. I'm going to ask you now, if you can, to round off your part of this presentation by sharing with us your competition prize and question, please.
So the prize is a 2-night complimentary stay at any of the Cheval properties in London or Edinburgh. And the question is the name and location of our newest residence, which is due to open next month.
Okay, so just to recap on that, it's a 2-night stay at any Cheval property in London or Edinburgh. And the question is, what is the name and location of the newest residence? Just for anyone who's not sure, this is all going to be on our website in terms of travelbulletin.co.uk/webinar competition after this webinar. Thank you very much, Nisa. We'll see you again at the end.
Pleasure. Thank you, Simon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I've been told off so much now. I apologise to Daria because I've kept you waiting, and I'm sorry, Daria. But we are there now. We're with you, and it's now time to meet you, our third and final presenter for today, the director of the Croatian National Tourist Office. Daria, please share with us and tell us more about your wonderful country.
Hi again, Simon and everyone. No problem at all. I'll now share my screen and we can get started. Okay, so Croatia is located in the heart of Europe. It is a small but highly geographically diverse dragon-shaped country. It's very small. It's only got 4.2 million people. Its climate is moderate continental and typically Mediterranean on the coast. The capital city is Zagreb. The official language is Croatian, but English is very widely spoken. Currency is Croatian kuna. £1 British pound will give you about 8 to 9 Croatian kunas. And in terms of time difference, Croatia is 1 hour ahead of the UK. Being located in the heart of Europe on the eastern coast of the Adriatic Sea, Croatia is accessible by road, sea, rail and air. From the UK, there are flights, and there are soon to be more of them reintroduced, flying to Pula, Zadar, Split, Dubrovnik, and the capital in the continental part, Zagreb. This is just a brief overview of our tourism in the year 2019, pre-pandemic. We've had over 20 million arrivals, over 108 million overnight stays, and top tourism destinations were Dubrovnik, Rovinj, Poreč, Split, and Zagreb. In terms of accommodation, you will see that short stay accommodation, meaning private flats, apartments, houses, villas, make up more than 50% of the accommodation units in Croatia. But the recent investments have actually mean that development of hotels, especially high-end hotels, 4- and 5-star hotels, is getting full progress. So we'll see opening of some very, very fine hotels this year. In terms of city breaks, Croatia is primarily known for its beautiful nature, islands and beaches, but its cities are quite a reflection of its rich cultural heritage, spectacular history, and great gastronomical diversity. Now, because we don't have that much time, we will cover 3 major cities in Croatia, which are obviously very popular with tourists. The first one being the city of Zagreb. Zagreb is also, as I mentioned, the capital of Croatia. And here is the accommodation capacities overview in the city itself. Zagreb is not your typical Mediterranean destination, so it's got more of that continental atmosphere, more of Austro-Hungarian influence throughout the history, which will be visible in its architecture, in the way of life, but also in the gastronomy as well. Zagreb claims the highest number of museums per capita, some of which are highly unusual, like the Museum of Broken Relationships, the Museum of Illusions, and Museum of Torture, for example. The historic city center is filled with classicist and secessionist facades. It's very lively, lots of squares, lots of parks as well. So Zagreb actually is one of the greenest cities in Europe. When you're there, you must definitely try and visit the Dolac market, which is a fresh food market located just above the central square in the city center, which offers regionally produced seasonal food, fresh cream and cheese and donuts, or you can also opt for top-end dishes in restaurants bearing Michelin star, Bib Gourmand or plate labels. One of the things you certainly must try is štrukli, which is a cheese-filled pastry you see on the image here, one of the traditional sweets of central Croatia. Also, Zagreb is known for its Christmas market, which has been voted best Christmas market in Europe for 3 years in a row. Zagreb is also home to many open-air festivals like Cest is the Best, Festival of Lights in spring, Courtyard, an in-music festival in summer, and a number of food festivals in autumn. Zagreb, Ryanair has actually only recently named Zagreb as its newest European base, which will be connecting Zagreb to 12 European destinations, including daily flights between Zagreb and London Stansted. Moving down to Split. Split is one of the biggest cities in Croatia, the second largest city, and is definitely the most important port. It is the most important connection to all the popular islands, but also all the popular surrounding areas in Dalmatia region. It developed from what you see here on this image, which is Diocletian's palace. This is actually a peristyle square, and just on the left side is the very popular, prominent Saint Dominus Cathedral. So in the year 305, the Emperor Diocletian, Roman Emperor, chose to build his home in the heart of the region of Dalmatia, and thus he set the first stones in place for what we know today as the city of Split. When you're in Split, which used to be only a sort of like a transfer point, people used to, or tourists used to usually go to Split just to get to one of the islands or just to catch a bus from the central bus station to go further along the coast. But in the more recent years, Split has actually developed as a city break destination, and more tourists actually choose to dedicate a couple of days of staying in Split and exploring its rich cultural, architectural history, but also its gastronomy. You can start with the most important sites, such as, for example, Diocletian's palace itself and the city core, including the most important city's promenade called Riva that you see on the picture. You can then stroll along the numerous cafes and shops, enjoying the view of the south facade of the palace and the city harbor. The path will then lead you to the city squares, like the People's Square that you see on the picture, and onwards towards the north wall of the palace. Split is also home to one of Croatia's most popular sandy beaches called Bačvice, and the beach itself is only about 10-minute walk from the city center. So a lot of tourists do go and visit, but it is very, very popular with the locals as well. The locals tend to go to the beach 12 months a year. Those very brave ones even swim in December and January, and they have even developed this unique ball game called Picigin, and you will always see some of the locals in groups playing this ball game, and you can always ask to join as well if you want to sort of the extra local experience. The beach also hosts a number of cafes and restaurants, so it's a great alternative to the sightseeing that you may do in the morning and then spend the afternoon on the beach. When you're in Split, you must definitely try fresh fish from the coastal area of central Dalmatia, the award-winning olive oils from the islands, and pašticada and arambasici from sea are definitely flavors to explore from this region's inlands. Split, as I mentioned, is also one of the biggest ports, so it will connect you to all the popular islands such as Brač, Hvar, Vis, Šolta. You can even take the catamaran all the way down to Dubrovnik. Split is the home of the Ultra Europe Music Festival, but the whole region is full of other interesting cultural and musical events like Fisherman Village Fiestas or Klapa, or that is a cappella type of singing gatherings that are very traditional in this area of Croatia. Moving down to Dubrovnik, as you will all know, Dubrovnik definitely is #1 city in Croatia in terms of interest from the UK traveler. It's also known as the Pearl of the Adriatic or King's Landing, setting from a Game of Thrones series, and it's also UNESCO's heritage site. Whilst you're there, even though the city is quite small, the old part of the Dubrovnik Old Town is quite small, so you can walk this main pedestrian street that you see on the screen. You can walk it in a few minutes, but it's from there you can venture out to so many different small alleys and back alleys that are riddled with little coffee shops, cafes, bars, souvenir shops. So it's really a full day of exploring, and obviously then you can also walk the walls, the city walls itself, and enjoy the views from there. And whilst you're enjoying your walk along the walls, if you look closely enough, you will see one particular hole in the wall. And that hole in the wall, when you go through it, will actually take you to what you see on the screen, a lovely cocktail bar called Buja Bar, that is situated on the cliffs on the outer side of the old city walls. You can have a nice cocktail, a drink there, or simply soak up the sun. And for the braver ones, they can even try cliff jumping from the cliffs in the vicinity. Whilst you're in the region, you must definitely try dingač wine from the Pelješac Peninsula and mandarins from the Neretva Valley, which is very nearby Dubrovnik. You can even join in for the mandarin and grape harvests and be a part of this amazing tradition. If you have more time as well, you can take a trip to the Lokrum Island, which is just about 10-minute boat ride from Dubrovnik Old Town Port, or you can visit one of the Elafiri Islands and have a day exploring their secluded bays and Renaissance architecture. Now that is it from me, very briefly. I'm open to any questions you might have about these 3 cities or anything else Croatia related.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Daria. That was fantastic. It doesn't feel like a city break when it looks that hot to me. But anyway, it looks gorgeous. Just staring at Dubrovnik, thinking, well, it was probably about 30 years ago the last time I was there. So lovely to see it again. I've got a number of personal questions which I'll come on to in a minute. But I'm going to start with something sort of fairly obvious, I suppose. I've got, this was on a chat, I think, rather than that. So let me just ask. Yes, Sarah Watson, who used the chat function, is very naughty rather than Q&A. Can you give us, Daria, the entry requirements in terms of Croatia? What do we need to do? I don't mean according to COVID, but I mean normally. Is it just passport holders? What do we need? Is there anything else?
So yes, it's only passports, just as it would be. So if we're obviously, COVID makes for other different regulations, right? But in terms of if we're talking about Brexit and travel after Brexit, then you don't need anything else, just your passport. Okay, fantastic. Right. I mean, obviously COVID does have a huge effect on that, and that'll be according to where Croatia and the various cities sit on in terms of the traffic light system. Yes. Okay. I think what's important to mention is Croatia is open. So if you have had your vaccination, both doses, or if you can provide a PCR negative test alternatively, or prove that you have recovered from COVID in the past, then you would be eligible to enter. Yes. Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you very much. Okay, I've got a number of questions. Lorraine has got 2 questions that she's asked. I'm going to ask them both, so you'll have to remember both of them now, Daria. Okay. The first one is there there may be one for each city, in which case tell us,
but is there a city card or something like that that is available for Zagreb, Split, or Dubrovnik, or one for each, or one that encompasses all of the cities, like, for instance, there is in Budapest in Hungary or whatever?
Yes, Dubrovnik has a city card called Dubrovnik card, which it can be a 1-day, 3-day, or 7-day card, and depending on that, you get lots of discounts and special offers. And Zagreb has also something similar.
Okay, and that would cover things like sort of discounts to museums and things like that, would it?
Exactly, entry to museums, galleries, like walk the walls of the city of Dubrovnik and things like that.
Well, that was question number 2, so you've already answered it, because Lorraine also asks, is there a charge to walk the walls? But obviously, if you've got the card, there isn't, but there is normally then.
It is normally, it's between 15 to 20 pounds.
Okay, right. Okay. Now, silly question. This is. I say silly question. That's a bit harsh. So I've got. I won't say who it is now. One of the. I've got a question that asks. Obviously, is it? Does it cost anything to go to that bar that you then go out to the sort of cliffs on?
Well, it would cost you to, if you were sitting in a bar, but just to jump off the cliff, there's no charge for that.
But and obviously we must recommend that everyone is safe and careful.
Absolutely. So only if you're skillful, then we encourage that. But otherwise, you can just admire other people, other very expert jumpers and their pirouettes.
You can admire other people taking their life in their hands. Yes. Okay. I've asked Robert Groves asks, is there the major road bridge that was being built between Croatia and Bosnia, has that now been completed, and is it now open?
So it's Pelješac Bridge, which will be connecting the two parts of mainland Croatia. So you will no longer need to, when you're driving from, for example, Split to Dubrovnik, you will no longer need to go through Bosnia. You can just drive along the bridge. However, it has not yet been completed. So it was planned to be completed this year, but because of COVID, the works have been kind of delayed. So now we're looking at mid 2022. So next year, we're expecting the bridge to be completed.
Okay, fantastic. Tony Byrne asks, can you travel between the cities by rail easily? And which order, well, he doesn't say which order would you recommend, but I'm going to ask how you would go about that most easily. And is there something in terms of which city you would recommend as a winter destination?
You can, going back to the first question, so you can use the rail. You can go from Zagreb down to Split and then further. But in Croatia, it's more common, so to say, to either rent a car or sit on a coach. And so there's lots of coach companies, and the schedule, I would say the coaches are more frequent than the train. Okay. And also it's a great opportunity because the Adriatic highway is one of the most scenic routes in the Mediterranean. So I would definitely recommend, if you can, hire a car and drive along the coast. It will give you the most amazing views, and again, the opportunity to stop wherever you want for a photo op. So I definitely recommend hiring a car.
Or if you're on a coach, make sure you're on the right-hand side of the coach.
Exactly, or that.
Okay, I'm going to do one more quick question, if I can, because we are going to have to wrap up. I'll do, Lynn Lewis says she's going to Dubrovnik next year. I take it it's easy to get buses and taxis. What is your favorite dish that she should try?
So many. I'm missing very much at the moment. But one thing you should definitely try if you're going on the coast would be a dish. It's a traditional Croatian dish called peka. It's spelled P-E-K-A, and it can be made with either seafood, so octopus, or grilled meat like lamb or veal. And it's essentially this big pot that is covered with a big iron lid and put on open fire. So it's a mixture of, let's say, octopus, potatoes, different vegetables, spices, and it cooks for about 4 or 5 hours, really slowly on the underneath that bell, and when it iron bell, and when it comes out, it is absolutely delicious. So I would absolutely recommend trying that if you had to try one thing.
Okay, I've got one last question for you, which is a bit of a sneaky one, and I'm sorry again because I'm running over time, and that's my fault. You are an insider, okay? It's your country, they're your 3 cities, they are the places that you know better than anywhere else. You've got to tell us something now that no one as a tourist will really know about. So tell us somewhere you would go in one of those 3 cities that you could recommend as being really off the beaten track, but really something that an insider would know about.
Interesting question. Very interesting question. I would say maybe a Split. Split city center is very popular with tourists, obviously, because of the architecture, the Diocletian's Palace, and all the restaurants and bars are located there. But actually, if you walk along from Bačice, so from city center to Bačice beach is about 10 minutes. But if you walk, there is a walk that you can do for an hour or so just along the water. You will pass by so many different smaller beaches that are less popular and less maybe touristy. So if you walk all the way for an hour, which will be a nice walk, you will reach maybe very or much less touristy beach where you can just enjoy the. Well, you won't be able to enjoy complete silence because it's a city, it's still a popular destination, but definitely less touristy.
And as an added advantage, you do 10,000 steps in the process. So
yeah, exactly. And then you can afford to have another traditional dessert or something like that.
Okay, thank you, Daria. Thank you. To finish off, can you please let our viewers know what your competition prize is and also your competition question, please?
Okay. So we will be giving out 2 bottles of Croatian wine from 2 of our most prolific wine producing regions. So white wine from the region of Istria, which is a foodie hotspot, and the red wine, Dingač wine from Pelješac, which is the region of Dubrovnik, Neretva. And we are asking you just to provide us with an answer to the question of so Ryanair has recently named one of Croatia's airports their newest European base. And our question is, which city is it located in? So which Croatian airport, which Croatian city is the newest Ryanair European base?
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. To recap on that, the question is, Ryanair has recently named one of Croatia's city airports their newest European base. Which Croatian city is it? And the prize is 2 bottles of wonderful Croatian wine. Remember to answer via travelbulletin.co.uk/webinar competition before Wednesday, that's this Wednesday, the 19th at 4 p.m. Thank you very much to everyone. We've come to the end of our webcast today. I'd like everyone, if you've missed anything, to recap it. You can go and visit it again tomorrow on our website. If you want to watch it again, and also it'll be on our YouTube channel and also on our Facebook page as well. I'm sure you'll agree we've learned a lot today about how to overrun on time by me, so apologies from me. And also we've learned a lot from our wonderful partners. So thank you again to Dalma, to Nisa and to Daria for delivering wonderful presentations and bearing with my overrunning questions. So if you can please give a big wave and say a big hearty goodbye to everyone, and thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you.